Most of you girls probably know that feeling when you are really attracted to someone and you just can't wait to start dating that person. But once two of you finally get together, you realize there is something wrong. For example, your personalities get along pretty well, but chemistry is not as good as you were hoping for. And even though you're really turned on by him, he just does not seem to respond in the same way. He really wants to be with you, but his approach is neither passionate enough nor he truly understands your desires on a subtle level. After personally studying past and current relationships and affections of dozens of couples and single people, I can proudly say that I've discovered how to know if a man is going to mesh with you well in terms of passion and chemistry, even before you meet that person face to face. Which is probably what most of you are interested in if you are watching this video. And if you continue watching it, you will learn exactly how to find a perfect lover by using a personality hack I'm about to teach you. Remember, what was a perfect lover for, let's say, a random girl from your town won't necessarily be a perfect lover for you as well. You are probably aware that making a man initially attracted is not that hard since most of the guys have lower average criteria than girls, and they are basically happy if any decent looking girl wants to be with them. So what happens? You find someone attractive, you make that guy know that your eye is on him, he gets excited, you start dating, and poof, you realize he's a bad lover, get disappointed, etc. You try to talk with him in order to fix things, share tips on what you like, but it's simply not working. He lacks primal understanding of your core personality. But is he really a bad lover in general, or he is just bad for you in particular? If you do not turn him on enough, which happens when primal personalities do not mesh well, the physical part of your relationship will suck. No matter how much you are trying to fix it using shallow psychological advice you can find online. Sometimes men are inexperienced and they simply suck because they don't know yet how to follow their primal instincts. But most of the time, the reason why he ended up being with you, despite the fact that you do not turn him on as much as he turns you on, is the fact that these men do not choose a partner carefully. They're superficial when picking a girl and have only one criterion, which is your looks. However, this is not the case with picky guys. Picky guys pay attention to details, subliminal signals, and will quite often refuse you if they assess that your subconscious personality can't really turn them on, despite you being a good-looking girl indeed. But picky guys are a dying species, so let's focus on the other group. Obviously, there is no way those betas will refuse you if you show initiative to be with them, so you have to figure out on your own whether they are with you just because there is an opportunity to be with a decent looking girl, or their primal instincts are also affected by you. If he is turned on only by your looks, then he will look horny but will act like a big child, flattered and excited by this new opportunity. However, if his primal instincts are activated, that's a completely different animal. He will be more quiet, but intense and straight to the point. Also, extremely passionate, creative, experimenting, and even obsessed with you to a point of worshipping. You will see that craving for you in his eyes and on his face. All of these behaviors lead to great chemistry, so you won't be disappointed if you meet one of those guys that perfectly suit you. However, modern social situations sometimes get a bit awkward, especially with introverted guys. Sometimes they do not relax enough, they talk stupid and shallow things, and somehow, somewhere, all that fire that might be lying beneath layers of personality gets hidden. Or, on the other hand, more social guys could be mistaken for great lovers just because they handle social situations better and it's easier to approach them. In either way, you might end up being disappointed. Plus, you only have about 15% chance to meet suitable guy in a trial and error method. All of that being said, let's see what you should do even before you meet a potential dating or hookup candidate face to face. The method I apply is derived from ancient psychology, also known as astrology, and is simple. I know some of you might have a prejudice about the way it works, but allow me to prove you wrong. You have nothing to lose if you try it on people you know and it turns out that I was wrong, but you can gain a lot if I'm right. So let's start. First of all, you need to find out the date, time and place of birth of a man you're interested in. The best way to do that is to ask him directly, of course. You need to know your own data as well. Assuming that his time of birth and other data are accurate, now we will head to one of the sites for drawing birth charts. I personally use astro.com, so let's go there to make a synastry chart, which basically represents a comparison of two personalities. Go to Free Horoscopes, Extended Chart Selection, join as a guest. First type in his data. I will type some random stuff, you should type real. Date, time and place of birth. Let's say that this guy was born in Paris, France. Now add a new person, that's going to be you. And now we have entered both your and his birth data, which means we can create a synastry chart. So we will switch this option to synastry chart. Click here to show the chart. There you have it. This is an example of a synastry chart, which was created in my case using some random data, and in your case it's going to be created using real data. The inner circle represents man's individual birth chart and the outer circle represents girl's individual birth chart. Synastry chart compares individual birth charts of two people and shows us how person 1 affects person 2 on a primal level, but also how person 2 affects person 1 on its own primal level. How he affects you is something you already know, so we are not going to waste time explaining that, but you do want to remove all the superficial layers of his personality and see how exactly he feels about you. Don't wait for him explaining it in a usually clumsy and inaccurate manner or following some psychological or biological tips you probably heard before. Do what I say and you will see exactly through all the layers of his personality before he says anything. Now that you have made the synastry chart, you need to locate the 8th house in this inner circle. That's your man's 8th house. After you do it, check where Venus and Moon from the outer circle are. These are symbols of Venus and Moon. If at least one of these two are on top of the man's 8th house, which is the situation you can see right here, as in our rare example this girl has not one but both of them placed there, he will find you insanely attractive. This 8th house in astrology represents the part of someone's personality which is all about passion and obsession. It's absolutely nothing superficial. And it needs to be activated in man's part of synastry chart by a female moon and or Venus for his primal instincts to get fully unlocked. There are more things to look for in a synastry chart like positions of Mars, Sun and rising sign, but I won't make things any more complicated since from my personal experience, Venus and Moon are the most important celestial bodies in a birth chart of a female. At least when we talk about passion, emotions, love and that kind of stuff. How exactly astrology works, no one knows for sure. But the 8th house predictions are one of the most notable effects on our personality and the easiest to spot and feel. To conclude this video, what's the benefit of using this technique in your everyday life? Knowing if a guy is deeply attracted to you or not is not only for fun purposes. You know, to have fireworks in your love life. It will also help you determine if he is less likely to cheat on you and generally get bored in a long-term relationship or not. Assuming that you care about that, of course. It's simple. The more man is turned on by his own girlfriend, wife, the less likely he is to cheat on her and or terminate the relationship. It will also save you from the stress of going to pointless dates that turn out to be horrible, and save your time in general because you will know his personality and how exactly he feels about you much before he explains or shows anything. Hope my advice and tip will help you find that perfect lover out there who awaits for you somewhere hidden in the crowd. If you have found this helpful or will find it helpful in the future, please subscribe and hit that notification bell because I publish new videos like this one at least once a week. Good luck and feel free to come back to this video once you try this technique and tell me how it was. Did it work for you? Let me know in the comments. Bye for now.